Existential therapy and how it connects to school counseling. Since my goal is to become a middle school or high school counselor, this approach really stands out to me. One of its main ideas focuses on helping students figure out who they are, what matters to them, and how they handle challenges. It's about creating meaning even when life feels uncertain. The main person connected to this theory is Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor who developed logotherapy. His main idea was that people are motivated by meaning. He believed that even in extremely difficult situations, such as the Holocaust, people can still find purpose, and that's what helps them keep going. He called this approach logotherapy, which is a form of existential therapy. The origins of existential therapy. It wasn't created by just one single person. It was developed over time by the ideas of several different psychologists and philosophers. After World War II, in the late 1940s and 1950s, as a response to some of the earlier approaches such as behaviorism, psychoanalysis, and the person-centered therapy, the psychologists felt that these theories didn't really explain the human experience, right? They were just focusing on behavior or the unconscious thoughts or even some personal growth alone. But existential therapy focuses more on meaning, personal responsibility, and how people interpret their lives. Main ideas. Some of the main ideas in existential therapy are meaning, freedom, purpose, responsibility, and even anxiety. People are always trying to understand why their life matters and what gives it purpose. It's not just about what happens to you, but also how you react to what happens to you. So this connects back to the work of Viktor Frankl. During his experience in the Holocaust, he saw that people who could hold on to meaning, even in that extreme suffering, were often more able to persevere and ultimately the ones who were able to survive. So that idea became central to existential therapy. Freedom and responsibility are also key. We all have choices in life, even when they're difficult. And so this type of therapy emphasizes that we are responsible for those choices and how they shape our lives. Another important idea behind this is the word anxiety and how we view anxiety. Instead of seeing it as something that's negative, existential therapy views it as a normal part of life that can actually help people reflect, grow, and understand themselves better. I did see this in my own life, something similar when my daughter's appendix ruptured and I had to stay in the hospital a few months ago. I stayed in the hospital for an entire month. I wasn't able to work. I also had to manage responsibilities at home, and it was overwhelming. But, it also showed me that even when life doesn't go as planned, you still find meaning in how you respond and how you adapt and how you move through those type of difficult situations such as this. Main techniques. So the main techniques of existential therapy include the choices we make, self-reflection, the question, what's most important to you, and right now. So the choices we make, when we think about the choices we make in existential therapy, it's becoming more aware of those choices, becoming more aware of the responsibility of making the choices that we do, and then using self-reflection and open-ended questions to help individuals think more deeply about their experiences. Another key question that is used in this therapy is what's most important to you. This also helps individuals slow down and think about what they truly value, what their priorities are, and what gives their life meaning. And then finally, just realizing that in existential therapy, it's often good to focus on the right here, the right now, what's happening, what's going on in their life right now, instead of dwelling on the past and things that have happened to them in the past. Application. Although formal existential therapy would not be used in school counseling, many of its ideas are very applicable in a school environment. During the teenage years, students are still developing their own identity and trying to figure out who they are and what they want in life. Furthermore, many students who come to school counselors are often dealing with academic stress, emotional challenges, or personal experiences that can feel overwhelming. In some cases, they may also be working through past or current difficulties that affect how they see themselves and their future. They don't know who they are yet, and many feel overwhelmed and unsure of their direction. Counselors can use existential therapy ideas by focusing on reflective questioning and helping students stay grounded in the here and now. Instead of immediately trying to fix problems, counselors can guide students to think more deeply about what is important to them, what gives their life meaning, and what they want their future to look like. When students are able to make connections and find meaning in their problems, or even in their classwork, their mindset and attitude are likely to change. And this connects to a thought from Viktor Frankl, that even when everything else is taken away, people still have the ability to choose their attitude. Counselors will constantly deal with students who think they can't succeed in life simply because of the hand that they were dealt in life. But by helping students recognize the choice of attitude, we can move them towards more resilience and give them a sense of control and purpose, even when they have had a difficult past or even when they are facing difficult situations. In conclusion, existential therapy is about understanding that meaning is something we create. As a future school counselor, I think this approach is really powerful because it helps students navigate identity, deal with stress, and make thoughtful decisions about their future.